Okay, the voice is fine as I see. So, as a beginning, we are going to look at the fundamental. We are going to look at the fundamental perspective. What is going to happen during this week? The previous week, as we saw, was very boring. We saw movements in the market only during Friday, so all the focus was only on the GBP data mainly, and also on the Canadian employment data. All the week was almost flat, very boring, only with small daily tradings in the Forex market, but also the crypto market didn't perform better at all. On the crypto market, we saw some movements during Thursday, if I'm not wrong, when I made the first live streaming. All the market moved during the live stream. I will also prepare another live stream tomorrow related with the crypto market. So let's go on the economic calendar for today and let's see what is going to happen for the coming week. I think that we are going to have movements in the market. It is not only related with the data, but is related with the fact that everyone is going to expect something to come out, and that will move the price up and down. So during Monday, we have to be very careful because the economic calendar is empty, and probably we may see very small moves, or probably the market may create also false breakouts. It's strange, but it happens in very low volume days. On Tuesday, you will see that it will be more interesting. We are going to have the GDP product from Japan here. It will be very interesting because it is expected that the GDP product, gross domestic product, is expected from minus 0.2% that was during the previous month. It is expecting to come out at 0.5%. If this is going to be real, this number, it means that the GDP will have a growth from minus 0.2% to 0.5%. It means 0.7% as a net increase. So this may help the Japanese yen to be stronger on Tuesday. So we have to be careful because it will be during the European night or European midnight, let's say. During the day, we are going to have some data. As you may see, these are in red from the UK front. I'm not expecting overall big movements. Also, the numbers that we may see at this part, they are expecting the same numbers, so probably we are not going to have any movement in the market at this point. And on Tuesday, I would like to focus mainly on the Eurozone GDP data. So this is very important. Despite the fact that it is expected that the GDP for the fourth quarter is expected to be 0.1% as it was before, and GDP for the yearly data, it is expected from 1.9% to 1.9%, but we need to focus because we may have any surprise on this data. So never knows what may happen on the GDP numbers, because all the market are performing one month, are underperforming over the next month. So this is going to be very important, in my opinion, during Tuesday. And also we have the CPI data from the US. So on Tuesday we are going to face two of the most important market movers. These are very strong catalytic for the market. The GDP from Eurozone and the CPI numbers, probably they will stop the price to move during Monday because it will expect for Tuesday what is going to happen. So let's be careful because the market will be volatile. And what I see as the main problem, it is not the fact that we may have the 5.3% on the inflation figures. Overall, a slowdown in these numbers is a good thing overall, because all the big countries are doing the impossible in order to decrease the inflation numbers. But the problem will be how the market participants will interpret these numbers. Because if the market is going to interpret in the same way like it did before, so let's say inflation is slowing down and the market is going to cut the expectations from Fed to support the economy with interest rates, then we are going to have the problem of a weaker USD. However, a slowdown in inflation numbers these days is very, very important. So at the end of the day, we have seen that all the economies that reported negative uh, interest rates, or let's say decrease in the inflation numbers, they have seen the value of the currency to increase during the next day, not the day where they reported. So we just have to be careful with this part. However, this is my opinion, so I'm just thinking in this way. On Wednesday, we are going to have the Bank of Australia. Governor Lewis is going to have a speech. I'm not expecting anything interesting on this speech at all. On Wednesday morning, we have the CPI data related with the UK. It will be interesting because the UK didn't, GBP didn't react it in the same way like the others on the inflation numbers. So I would like to be very careful. It can have an impact for good and for bad as well. So I would like to stay out, but it will be a very strong market mover during Wednesday morning. And on Wednesday, we are going to have also retail sales from the US. This is very important, the retail sales. This is related to the consumption. Uh, Overall, this will impact the GDP numbers. We have seen that the GDP number from the US was released high during the previous time related with the quarterly numbers. And as you may see this time, for the month of January here, it was minus 1.1% during the previous month, and it is expected that the retail sale may increase. If both these numbers are going to come positive as it is expected, even if they are going to come out lower than what it is expected here but higher than the previous month, probably we may see the USD to be stronger for the reason because it is going to impact the GDP numbers at the end of the month with a positive number as well. So this is going to show in advance a positive growth on the GDP data. So let's see, but it will be a very strong mover. On Thursday, we have employment change from Australia. It is going to impact the market as long as we are going to face the employment numbers. And also the unemployment rate. Also, Australia is not performing bad at all. So we have to see what is going to happen. Probably we may face any surprise. However, during the previous times, we didn't see any surprise. Also, in the inflation numbers, if I'm not wrong, when they reported some weeks ago, they didn't have any decrease in the numbers. They had an increase in numbers. So probably this may not help for good on the unemployment rate. However, everything has to be seen. And also we have Governor Lewis' speech again related with the Bank of Australia here. From the speeches from these countries, I'm not expecting anything significant. So let's see. And as you may see, on Friday, this is almost empty. So we may have a flat day or probably any type of speculative day. I don't know, but this is empty for Friday. We have to be careful because the market volume during the end of the week in a normal situation tends to slowed down, so not everyone wants to trade. Many are closing profits, many are closing losses, so everyone tends to close the open positions. And considering that we are not going to have volume during this time, it could be also very, very difficult. So the most important days, as you may see, are going to be on Tuesday and on Wednesday. These are the most important days for the Forex market that are going to move everything. So let's go back on our charts right now, and we are going to look at what is happening from the technical perspective, the chances that we have here. On the 4-hour chart that I'm looking at, I have shared this also during the previous time, we may see that the price is still developing in this type of descending channel. It looks very good. The movement began since when we were analyzing the chart, when it was on this part of the structure. Also, this was one of the scenarios, and at this point the price increased faster. So what may happen right now that price is at this point? During the previous analysis that I shared here, at this point, price was close to this part of the structure, as you may see. It was very interesting because the price reaction from the sellers was as expected. So we can see the price that already reached the first target for dollar index, and price is testing the upper part of the structure here. So look at how the price came close to the top. The chances are very high for both scenarios considering what is happening. We may see the price to come down and probably to create a bigger corrective structure before it will rise, but also we may see any type of ABC correction that may come close to the second target and it may rise again. So overall, I'm still expecting a bullish movement above the descending channel, considering the bigger picture that I'm looking at, but this may also expand lower, but as long as our expectations are in line with the pattern, then the chances are that we may have only any type of correction. It could be a small correction, a large correction. Everything will depend a lot also from the CPI data that we are going to have from the US front during this week. That is why we have to be careful. Everyone is going to speculate with those data. So probably we may see the US dollar to continue rise. As you may see also, these movements here are very interesting. These are corrective movements, ABC corrective pattern. Here we have another ABC, and probably we may see another ABC. I don't think that the market will anticipate a bullish dollar before the US data. So as long as the US data related with the inflation numbers are going to be on Wednesday, I don't think that the market will move before Wednesday here. So let's see what the market will bring us on during this week. It's a bit complex because overall we should see the price to create any movement in order to anticipate the next move. For the moment, considering that the price is just taking a pause close to our pattern resistance, this is also increasing the chances for another move down or deep correction in the same way like the price did before with these movements here, or probably with the movement at this point. So it's a very, very critical area here. So let's move back on the next one, US100. I have shared this also before. The first part was related with FOMC on January 27. Price was testing the upper part of the resistance line. As you may see, the support is a resistance here. These are critical zones because during this moment the price can break in both ways, up or down. We saw the bullish movement, and as we may see, price broke out, reached the first target, and it stopped there, and here we have another retest. So here we have our targets. Price is correcting, and the chances are very high that we may see US 100 to rise again from this point. If we are going to look at in the lower time frame, this is very interesting. There are some small issues overall because the price can also move lower, but as long as the price will not move below the zone that we are looking at, so let's say that the price will stop the bearish movement at this area where it has already reacted, I think that the chances are very high that the price already completed this type of movement, ABC movement, with this type of pattern, any type of flag probably, and we may see the price to confirm the bullish wave from this point. So the confirmation will come when the price will complete the pattern. This is the movement that I'm looking at for US 100 or Nasdaq. What is very important is that we are having also a support on the lower part of the structure. So both these areas here are showing some support. And also during the previous time when the price came close to this zone, here we may also see a very strong movement. So overall, both are in line with each other, all these moves. So this is what I'm also expecting for US 100. So one step at a time. This is the first target, and later we are going to see how the price may develop. But as beginning, the price should confirm the ABC pattern that I'm looking at in order to complete the bullish movement. The next one is gold. I'm going to focus a bit more on gold. As you may see, we are looking on gold for all our members that I have shared for a stop close to the first area and also for a stop close to the second area. As you may see, close to the top of the left structure on the daily chart, we can see long candles, so that this is showing that we have very strong bearish momentum at this point. And if we are going to increase on the weekly chart, just one moment, I want to delete this. We may see that this candle closed out very bearish, and after this moment price created the bearish wave, and we may see the other movements. This is what I was looking at for gold near this zone. The interesting fact is that the price reacted earlier on the second zone, and what we may see is that we have a very strong bearish candle on the weekly chart. This is big compared to the previous one. Look at this candle here, look at this candle. So these are very strong candles, and it has invalidated. We have 1, 2, 3 weeks that are already invalidated in this area. And on the fourth week that we closed, we have a close below the previous weeks. However, this was a low that was created below the previous week, sorry. The close that you may see is approximately in the same price zone where it was during the previous week. We have to be a bit careful. When I shared the previous analysis for gold, it was during this pattern here. Price created the breakdown and we were expecting for the movement. Just one moment, as you may see here, it was one idea for gold. Here were our zones, and we can see the price reaction. So both these areas were potential movements for the bearish move. During that moment, it was not clear at all because we didn't have any reversal sign, so it was just expected the price to somewhere to show this type of reversal, but it didn't at that moment. And during some days, we may see this analysis. So just one moment. During the top that I shared this, it was a potential head and shoulder pattern. Price didn't complete the right shoulder yet, so it was in development of this part. After the pattern was transformed, we may see a strong breakdown that came from this part of the structure. So here we are right now with our pattern. This was shared some days ago on February 8, as you may see. We can see that price developed more, and the channel pattern, the flag pattern that we are looking at, was a perfect pattern here on the 4-hour. It didn't increase very high as expected, but we can see the price to correct more here. What we have to be careful, because we are going to deal with the inflation numbers right now. Overall, how it works out is that if inflation is going to slow down, if we are going to have small inflation numbers from the US, in a normal situation, we may see gold to move down and not to rise at all. In normal situations, gold is used as a value holder against the US dollar. Inflation is high, gold should be high. Inflation is smaller, it means that also the gold should be smaller in value. So this is what I am expecting. So even if we see the price to develop more at this area, but I don't think that it will have this chance, considering that the CPI data will be on Tuesday. We may see any small movement, probably bullish during Monday and Tuesday morning, and during the US opening you have to be very careful. Only any speculative movement can increase the price close to this structure, as I see. However, this is only my expectation. Maximum on the previous zone where the price was before. This is the maximum expectation that I'm waiting. And after that, we have to be careful, because if inflation number is going to come out small and we are going to face a stronger gold during that moment, probably we may face a sell-off from that area. With the current pattern that we may see here, in my opinion, this is done. However, everything is related what the market is going to do with the speculation. If everything is going to develop without big problems, the main move should be in this direction. And this pattern is approximately completed, or it can be something like a type of triangle pattern and the price can continue lower. So the only fear that I have are only the CPI data and how the market will interpret those data. Because we have seen that the market is not interpreting the same data in the same way. We are facing huge speculations. So it is better to be careful, but overall, gold is showing a bearish movement. Everything is related how long the price will will develop in correction again. Another update that we have with Euro USD again. This is the trading setup that I shared during the previous time. We have seen many analyses. During the previous analysis, we are looking at also this type of broadening ascending wedge pattern. two pattern within one pattern. And finally, we may see that price broke down here. However, these are used only for guidelines, so we have to be very careful. It is not supposed that just because the price broke the neckline and it will go to continue lower, so this is a big mistake if we are going to think in this way. During the previous time that I shared this analysis on February 5, as you may see, this was the price direction, and price came close to our target, and both our targets were reached. So everything was in line with the movement that we are looking at here. We have to be careful because we are going to face GDP numbers from Eurozone and also CPI numbers from uh, from USD. So if we are going to face any type of speculation related with the CPI numbers, as I see, the maximum we may have any type of correction up to 120 pips here. So price can develop a type of corrective pattern that can be something bigger, and later we may see another bearish wave. As we have seen overall related with the CPI numbers, the US economy is performing very strong, very well. The CPI numbers are slowing down month after month, so this is a good thing overall. Considering that the market didn't take those data very bad, because they are good overall, we may see also the strength on the US dollar, and I think that probably this is the maximum that we may face. However, this is just a forecast with the current data that we have for this moment, because it may change as a picture during the Monday opening. But this is overall the maximum correction that I'm expecting here. So let's see, because everything will be related also with the market opening during Monday, and on Tuesday it will be very interesting as well. But overall, I think that US dollar should be strong and this should continue. Just one moment. One of the guys is writing. Thank you so much for joining. I'm just reading the comment. Just one moment. Yes, Abdul is writing about Solana, so can you check Solana? Yes, I may check it, but I have to finish with the list that I have to update first, and the last one will be Solana. So just wait. This is for Euro USD. The next one that we are going to look at, and I already updated 3 times because many from the members were asking about it, is the GBP We have to be very careful. Overall, I am expecting a bullish movement, and I will share my opinion why. But we have also to be very careful during this week, considering that we have the GDP data that were from the Japanese economy as well. So price can continue to develop within this bigger pattern. It can rise from this point. Probably this was the first wave. We may see a type of triangle pattern and the price can rise up again. But what we have to be careful, and why I think that probably yen can be weak again. During during Friday, sorry, we saw this bearish move here that happened. Price moved down suddenly approximately 180 pips here, and it was very strange because no one expected anything at all, because everything was flat during the morning. And what happened? was everything related with the Bank of Japan. As we may see, they are going to change all the stuff related with the Bank of Japan executives. So we may see new deputy Bank of Japan governor, new deputy Bank of Japan governor. We may see the others. So everything is supposed to help the Bank of Japan, and probably the market is anticipating any change in the monetary policy statement as well during the coming months. However, I don't think that they will change at all related with the monetary policy statement. They have a solid outlook related with their economy, what they want to do, and related with the fact that the Japanese economy is impacted related with the exports that they already do. So I don't think that they want a very strong yen in order to help the economy. This is the way how they chose to support their economy, and not by increasing the interest rates at all. However, this was the news that created the bearish impact. As you may see, this impact was deleted nearly 50%, and considering that all the market is reacting in this way, not only in GBP but also in other yen pairs, it means that the market focus is probably changing, and we may see the yen pairs to be weak again. So this is what I think, considering the market movement during this moment. However, we have to see also the GDP numbers from Japanese economy. It will be interesting, but also risky. But this can give a push to our GBP yen pair. So on the 1 hour is very ugly, but on the 4-hour picture, this is looking very, very interesting. But it's a very complex scenario. It's not that easy at all. The next one that we are going to look at is GBP Australian dollar. Don't forget that we have to look at for many data during this week. We have from the UK data, and we have also from Australia the employment numbers. On the daily picture, we may see that during April 22, May, June, July, all of this area show it to be very, very strong. The crash that was here was related with the UK cabinet here, so it was something related with the taxes when the price came down, but this is the area that showed it to be very strong. Despite the fact that the price is testing this area, I think that the chances are very high that we are not going to see the price to move below this zone again. So probably GBP Australian dollar is undervalued close to 1.72. This is at least my opinion, what I think. And the maximum that we may see is that even if the price is going to test the lower part of the structure, probably we may see the price to bounce again. So let's be careful, because overall the daily picture is showing that this is a very strong and critical area overall. So the GBP may face bullish reaction rather than bearish movement at this point. I'm still bullish on this pattern. So this is overall for what I was looking at on the Forex market. For the market outlook, we have to be very careful and the focus on the data that we are going to have. The next one is Solana on request, and probably the last one for today. I will prepare also a market outlook for the crypto market tomorrow, so I will keep you updated. As you may have seen, this was for personal use at this point, so don't focus on this part. However, as you may see, price reacted very well when it came close to the top of the structure for Solana. This is a type of pattern that is still holding the price down. And what I'm looking at for Solana is all the time that Solana is getting ready to recover for the bullish movement. We are looking at these very strong sell-offs here. When the price was close to the neckline and also Bitcoin reached the top of the market close to 24,000, that was a very strong indication for the price to move down as well. So this pattern was showing a very clear sign that the price was going to move down. We have to be careful considering to what I was expecting on the daily chart. All looks fine. For the current pattern, we have to be careful only for one thing. As you may see, from the top of the structure, price came down, and from this moment, this was a movement of approximately 20%. On the other hand, we may see a structure zone that the price is getting ready to break down, but it is still holding above this area. So only if price is going to create a bearish movement below the previous low, 19.69, 19.7, this is going to increase the chances for the price to move lower. However, as you may see, we don't have any price development at all during the last hours on Solana. We may see that we don't have trading volume at all here. Nothing is happening. Price just stopped. So we don't have minimum data at least to anticipate for the next movement. So from this place where Solana is right now, it can test the upper part of the structure and it can come down again, or probably it can create something bigger as well. So all these scenarios are possible in the current situation. I think that we have to see some more development right now, considering that price is not creating a solid break between these 2 points. It is showing that the market is not clear for the bearish movement, or probably if it has to create another bullish correction. So this is a very critical point for the moment. I would like to see Solana to break below 19.7 in order to continue with the bearish movement, or at least to increase more the bearish volume in order for the price to continue lower. This is not showing anything at all at this moment, and this is exposed to both movements. So this is overall. Hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the like button for any future contents. And also, if you have any comment, you can write on the comment section below, and I will try to do my best for the next live streaming. So I wish you all a good weekend. Bye bye.